had responded to a TikTok video in which a man in Nigeria gave tips on what to do to save you from dying as a result of a snake bite. But it wouldn't make sense that I should debunk what he said without offering the proper information on what to do when you're being bitten by a snake, or you happen to be around someone that has been bitten by a snake. Annually, there are about 4.5 to 5.4 million snake bites globally, and about 1.8 to 2.7 million of these snake bites are cases of envenomation. Then 81,000 to 130,000 deaths have been recorded annually as a result of these snake bites, and about 95% of this occur in low-income to middle-income countries. India has the highest number of snake bites in the world, and Nigeria, where I come from, has recorded incidents of as high as 497 per 1,000 population. So snakebite is a serious health challenge that the World Health Organization is trying to even beat itself for not taking it as seriously as it is. This is significant. So these first 8 steps will actually save the life. Let's dive in. If you happen to be bitten by a snake, or you saw someone being bitten by a snake, don't panic. Try as much as possible, if you are not the person being bitten by the snake, but you are in the scene, to calm the person down. That is very important, because in the course of panicking, your heart beats faster, and that spreads the venom around the body faster, and it will be more fatal compared to if a person tries as much as possible to remain calm. And part of the thing you are to tell the person, because I know it's difficult for you to tell someone not to panic when he or she is being bitten by a snake, because the next thing that comes to their mind is, I am dying. But the truth is that about 70% of snake bites are harmless. That means about 70% of snakes are non-venomous. So most people are going to survive that. And even if it's venomous, there's a time window in which, when the appropriate step is being taken, your life will be spared without any form of disability too after recovering. So first, calm down, or calm the person being affected down. The next step is try to look for the bite mark. Just locate it with your eye and try to remove any forms of clothing or tight materials, even jewelries that are around that place. Just keep anything from touching that place. It's very important, because that even further helps to confirm that it's a snake bite. For most snake bites, you're going to see the fang there, although there's some particular species that you might not see anything. So when you locate that, please, it's not for you to suck, cut, or wash. Leave them. Don't touch them. Don't incise or make any cut around that mark, because some snake species venom have anti-clotting properties. That means they make the person to bleed out, which is one sign of envenomation. So you cutting that wound further predisposes the person to further bleeding that he or she might not recover from, or the person might lose significant amount of blood than he or she would have. Another thing is that you further make the wound prone to infection, because whatever you're going to use at that point in time is not sterile. You are not observing what we call aseptic technique. So please don't cut anything. Leave them as they are. Don't suck too. It does not help. Forget what you see in movies. Sucking does not help at all. And don't wash, whether with water or anything. Just leave them, because washing can further cause the spread of the venom. So please, just leave the wound as it is. Then the next step you should take is to try to minimize movement of that particular limb that is being affected, because movement further causes the spread of the toxin to the body. So there's something we call immobilization, which is just put any hard object, something like a stick, avoid the bite mark, and tie that particular stick or whatsoever around that side, so that the person does not move at all, as they usually do with fractured limbs. And if you can't do that, try to make the person not to move that particular limb at all. The person should keep that thing as still as possible. Then the next step is the person shouldn't take anything. Shouldn't take food, water, anything. Don't even give the person any concussion at all. Please don't. Even traditional remedies that some people had claimed to work, the person shouldn't take anything at all. And that's because these things might somehow affect the effectiveness of these antivenoms when the person gets them. So nothing should enter the person's mouth. Then, as soon as possible, move the person to the nearest healthcare facility. If you know a very good hospital center that is very far from you, no, carry the person to the nearest healthcare facility. The health workers know what to do first before, if need be, they could transfer that person to the other place. So to the nearest healthcare facility in the safest means possible. If you can get access to an ambulance, great. If you can't, make sure that whatever you're using to transport the person will minimize movement as much as possible. The person shouldn't run to the hospital, or the person shouldn't drive or ride a motorcycle or ride a bicycle, because it further makes the person to move, and activity too will make the heart pump fast. So if you happen to be the one that is beating them, as much as possible, calmly meet someone, tell them this is what happened, can you take me to a healthcare facility? When you're moving, don't panic, don't run. Now the next thing is, what do we do in the hospital? Just leave that to us. We know what to do. We've been trained. So your work is to just carry the person to the hospital and leave the work to us. We'll be able to handle it. I hope you've learned something from this video, and you've learned what to do and what not to do. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy what I do. Please share it with as many people as possible, as this is going to save a life. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.